Welcome to the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas. We're a nonprofit set up to restore this incredible house back to its original glory. If you've been watching our videos from the beginning, you remember these incredible stained glass windows that used to grace the grand staircase. They were removed very early on because they were in really bad condition, and we were afraid with all of the restoration that needed to go on, we could have some kind of a ladder accident and do further damage to these windows. This area was also heavily damaged by termites, and we knew we had to do a lot of structural work around these windows. So they were removed very, very early on in the process by Stanton Glass Studios, a big stained glass restoration company up in Waco, Texas. The windows were taken out and they are stored up at Stanton until we can raise the money to get them repaired. It will be one of the very last things that we do, one, because we don't want to bring them back while we're still doing construction work, but two, they're going to cost somewhere in the nature of $140,000 to restore fully between the stained glass windows and the beautiful lay lights that are at the top of this staircase area. If you're new to our channel, I'd suggest you go back and take a look at the entire removal video. It's one of the more nail-biting videos that we have out there, and it's really quite an interesting process to see these professionals remove these windows. Since they've been gone, we've been looking at just old yucky plywood that we had on hand that the guys used to seal up the opening that was left when the windows were removed. It really is an eyesore. And I've been toying for a long time in the back of my head of doing something to brighten up this area. And I came up with the idea to faux paint the stained glass windows back in place. It's one of those low cost, no cost things that we can do to really improve the appearance of the house for visitors that come in and give them an idea of what this house looked like originally. I'm going a little bit out of order of the work that's done. Usually I try to keep everything in chronological order. But for those of you who have been with us and watching our videos, you've had to slog through some pretty boring stuff lately as we've been getting ready and cleaning up for some of our fundraising events. So I thought it would be a nice treat for you to actually see some fun work going on. And it was a fun treat for Heather and I to actually get to do this work. So this will be a two-parter. This week we'll show you some of the prep work that went on, and next week we'll get into the really fun painting. So enjoy. Okay, so this is what the stained glass window looks like. So you can see all the blue, kind of multicolored. It's got a little purple swirl. So that's what you're saying. You could use like a, what kind of paint? Like a shimmer?
We're gonna, yeah, I was thinking we could just paint like a pearlescent, like behind it to give it sort of a pearly glow, and then we'll just use a glaze and we'll do sort of a swirly blend of some creams and whites and make it real transparent and try to sort of recreate the background of this so that for now, while these are still being repaired, we have like an inkling of what the stained glass was, and then we'll come back later and we'll paint some of this other stuff on top of it.
Yeah, because I was thinking if we got all the blue done, we could later come back and do bamboo. We could later come back and do a little vine. So we can kind of do it in stages so it'll look better.
Yeah, it'll look
better.
But
we don't have to, rush.
At least better for house tours for the next time. Maybe year or two or three. I don't know how long it's going to be before we get the windows back.
I brought a bunch of scrap paint in blues, pinks.
Okay, me too.
Lavenders. I have a big 5-gallon bucket of Kills, but it's clear. It's weird clear. So we might can tint it a little bit to add a little tint to it. I need to get a little primer on use it up.
Okay. Well, we'll just get some primer down on that plywood.
Primer, it'll dry quick, and then we can come back with.
Yeah, we're getting good at painting plywood. We've got plywood faux front doors. We're gonna have plywood faux finish. So let's go get stained glass windows. This is great.
We'll go get the big extension ladder and see if we can even get up there. To do it. So
okay, perfect. Check it out. All right, sounds good. Dying? What do you mean?
So tired.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Where are you going?
So hard.
Oh, I know. Alright, so, boy, this is a hell of a handrail, isn't it? They weren't playing around with me this stuff.
Our first step was to figure out how to get up there and work on this. The plywood is not very thick. This was plywood we had on hand. It was put up, not necessarily intended to be permanent, and it's not something we can lean the long extension ladders against. I'm afraid it would actually bow out and pop out of the window, and that would be disastrous from a safety standpoint. So we do have 2 extension ladders. We decided to put them in the corners against the brick and see if we could work that way. It will be a little bit awkward to reach out and a lot of up and down and left-handed painting to paint from the right side, which is never good when you're a right-handed person, but we thought we'd give it a shot. It took a little while to set up. Heather and I are both pretty strong for our size and used to working with these ladders, but it was an awkward space, and because the brick was not wide enough to lean the ladder against, we had to set them at an angle in the corner. Neither one of us were really wild about the setup. Heather was a little worried about them shifting. I felt they were pretty secure, but she's the one that's going to be up on the ladder, and she needs to feel safe. And she does this for a living. She's on ladders all the time, so if she's uncomfortable, then that's an indication that maybe we need to do something else. She was secure enough to go up and start the priming process, so we thought we would give it a shot and just see if this could work. Since that blue has white showing through, do you want to put some white in that primer, or how do you want to?
Yes, and I don't know if we can just prime it, but then I brought some whites too to like blend in.
Okay, so as you're doing the blue. Okay.
Yeah, so we can just do that. Do it.
I'm going to be quiet since you're the professional.
No.
I just didn't know if you had. I didn't know if you had white, but if you've got white.
I brought whites and creams, and I've got blues and pinks. And
Okay.
I've got all kinds of colors.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to be quiet and be the helper today.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm just going to dust this off for now, and then we can put some of that primer on.
Okay.
Just these shelves have got like some like concrete
Really
debris
bad.
from the
I wonder
brickwork and
why.
stuff. Yeah, because I mean it doesn't have to be perfect since this is just making us look better, kind of fix for a while until we get real.
Well, I know this doesn't get us anywhere towards finishing, but it's free, and I think it will look a lot better. And since the windows are going to be gone for probably 10 years,
Yeah.
you know, might as well. While you're here,
Oh yeah. Oh, here, let's get some faux stained glass up here like we did on the front door, some faux front doors, so it looks a little bit more presentable around here for
Yeah.
these tours. Okay, I think that's
is that good enough?
probably good enough for what we're doing.
Okay. So now we're going on with metallic. Not metallic.
Yeah, it is. It's metallic.
Kind of
It's
a glittery pearl.
It's a pearl metallic paint. Yes. Close.
And does it have a color, or is it just the shimmer?
It's pearl. It's a pearl color. It's like
So like an off-white, pearly white.
yes, it's
Okay,
a pearly
cool.
white. That is correct. Because I figure that will give us, just some kind of like an effect of
Yeah.
a little shimmer behind when we put our glaze
And then we can kind of
on.
glaze and dry brush the blues and some just
Yeah, because we'll really dilute those blues and things down with a glaze so we
so
can
it's
move it
a little
around, and then
transparent.
this will be the background
Cool.
for us.
All
So,
right.
yeah, we'll try it. I mean, haven't done a sample, but we'll just.
This is a big
We're
sample.
gonna sample it up here. It's on some plywood, so we'll just sample it up.
Well, you're
here.
going to get fired if it doesn't come out right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that. That primer. It's not quite dry. Maybe we give it a.
Touch it.
Let's give it just a few more minutes, but we're at least ready
Here,
to go
let me
for
put
next
the
layer.
fan on wind tunnel.
There you go. Let me bring this paint back down here then. Yeah. Let's get it a little drier, and then we'll go with our pearl.
You can see something's happening. This is actually a shimmery, pearlized paint, and it's the color of pearl. Oops, I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm filming. But this is an undercoat. So it's hot today, but humid. So we're hoping with our big wind tunnel fan, we can get this dry and get part of this project finished today. And remember, Heather is a professional decorative painter. She's spent hundreds of hours in training and does all kinds of interesting finishes. The priming went okay, but it was very awkward. So we decided to try something different and bring in the scaffolding and see if that would work better. This is my scaffolding that I keep here at the house, but Heather uses this exact same scaffolding a lot in her business, and she actually has 2 sets of it that she can stack one on top of the other to get even higher. Because I only have 1 set, we're going to have to improvise a little bit here.
Okay, now bring the other piece. The ladder rung in.
And now we just leave.
This is the strongest man competition right here.
I'll be sad when we have to give the rooster back.
Really? You like that rooster? Rooster's funny.
The rooster has scared us all more than once. And we forget it's here.
Now we're locked in. All right, now the strongest man competition is over. Got that? All right, and then I'll go get the big one.
Another fine Christmas present from my husband.
What, the scaffold?
He knows the way to your heart.
I have loved my scaffold for many years. It's good stuff. Okay, I have a trick for this, so let me do this part. Ready? Here comes my trick. This thing is very, very. Make sure I'm in. No, I'm not. I'm in there. I thought. Can you come move this thing around so it'll get in? Because it's not. It's like just wiggle the scaffold around, like roll the wheels around. Can you get that? Can you get those corners down there? Okay. Okay. Ta-da!
We need a new catchphrase.
I know we do. She climbs on ladders professionally for a living.
I can't tell you how many times I've actually done this, but I'm probably glad that my mother doesn't see me doing what I do. She'd probably freak out watching me be on scaffolding.
My kids won't watch videos.
I'm dizzy just tilting my head back to look at the scaffolding.
I mean, you've got to do stuff to get to things. That's the way it goes. All right, I'm gonna climb up here, and I'm gonna get you to hand me, and you can hand me the ladder. Really? It doesn't bother me. I just want to make sure that what I'm standing on here is a termite ring, and I'm going to fall to the floor. Make sure that the floor is stable.
Yeah, you don't even need to raise it any higher. And Joe's been out here selling tickets. We had a flurry. We made
$145.
$145, and she's been doing the big sort while she's sitting out here. Now I have to do the big put away.
I got the easy part.
She got the easy job. See what all this stuff is. We've got, let's see, she's got.
Should I tell you my system here?
They can't hear you, I have no mic. So we have little hand tools, brushes. I actually have a brush thing.
Hardware.
Weird hardware, yard tools, tape, electric tools, miscellaneous stuff, doorknobs, and these are my things that are really, really important that I've saved. So I have a special place for those. That's the stool to the elevator. That's a piece of trim. Butler pantry tile. I don't know what that key is.
What are all the little cylinder things with that you're right? Move your hand.
This?
Those, yes.
These are the curtain rod holders.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna have to talk really loud because I don't have a mic, but Joe found two keys. One is broken, one is intact, and they're hollow inside, and I don't remember seeing these before, so I don't know where they came from. So I'm gonna go try them in the dining room and see if by chance they work. I'm not sure that they will because they have these fancy ends and that doesn't look like the lock, but what the heck, let's go try. Okay, it goes in, it turns.
So explain to them what was about to happen
Well, what
with this
was about
door.
to happen is, if you saw in the earlier video, I took about an hour on the other door to remove this lock, and I actually talked yesterday with the lock company up in the Midwest about mailing this in to see if they could make a new key for me. And I got their shipping address and I'm ready to do that. But this one fits.
The power of the junk drawer.
Power of the junk drawer. And this one is broken, so it does nothing. But look at this one. Well, you can't see it. It's just barely moved out a little bit there. There it goes, click. But we're gonna leave those unlocked. But now that I have it, I can send him a picture of it and the dimensions, and he might be able to find and make me a couple extra, because look at it. It's a little wonky, but yay. But you can see this is the one that's a little bit damaged. See, the leading has come off inside here, so this door will have to go, oops, be restored. But yay, it's open. So now I can take it off. Thank you, Joe.
Sometimes I'm useful.
Okay, I'm going to put those in my purse.
I'm not just decorative.
I'm going to put those in my purse in a zipper place. So now we're mixing.
Yeah, I'm stirring up all of the paints right now. Glaze, a couple of blues. Yeah, so you can see this one's gonna be, all the red dye is separated on that one. This is gonna be a darker blue.
Got a little purple undertone in with the red in it.
Yeah, this is Sherwin-Williams, Georgian Bay, and this is Sherwin-Williams Resolute Blue.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, I think those will work. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so we'll see here in a minute.
Heather is disturbed because it's not perfect.
When it's not perfect.
She doesn't know the concept of good enough.
This is just a get you by kind of a project. Whoa, what was that? Whoa, did I roll off of something into a hole over here? What is that, Jamie? That's really...
Okay, the magic's starting to happen. Heather's worried about it being too bright, but if you saw the stained glass window in person, the colors are exceptionally bright.
getting enough of a swirled effect from
I
down
think
there?
so. I think so.
Is there any suggestions you would make for me on?
I don't think so, because once you put the lattice over it and then put the vine over it,
We're just trying to get kind of a.
and having a little more white gives you the suggestion of sunlight coming through. I'm always apologizing for our videos, but today we had lost our microphone, so I hope the sound's not up and down too much. And there was a lot going on today, so I was in and out filming Heather. But what she's doing right now is applying the blue that she's thinned down with the glaze to make it very fluid, so she can extend the drying time, swirl it around, and get a lot of movement and texture. And to do that, she's putting it on and then taking corrugated cardboard and swirling it through to wipe away portions of the glaze to expose the white, because the window, the actual window, has a lot of white in the glass to evoke kind of movement and sky with the sun coming through. So this is the effect she's going for. It really was just kind of a whisper in there. It's mostly the blues.
Okay. Well.
But again, I think that makes it look a little like sunlight coming through, because you saw when the sun comes through, it lightens it.
It
So
does. Okay.
I think it needs to have kind of that light look to look
Okay.
not so dark. Sorry, I deserted you. We have another tour. Oh, wow. That looks so good. That makes a huge difference, having the arches painted.
It makes it like feel like where we're going with it.
I know.
Now once this dries, you can get up here and grid this out in that bamboo pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just putting the grid up, the bamboo, even without the flowers, will, you know, every little step will change things.
Oh yeah.
But getting that background on is the
Okay, I'm down.
big change. You'll have to remember what you did, so if I put plywood in the other windows, you can paint it.
Well, we'll leave all the paints here.
Yeah.
And if you want, we can just stick labels on which ones we use. Okay.
Whoop.
That made a good difference. All right, that was hurting my calves.
Yeah, you can leave it. You can leave it up there. I can plot out the grid and do that.
Okay. That does make a big difference, doesn't it?
It's huge.
It's weird.
Huge.
It's weird how something small like that.
Of course, I'm not climbing up on that ladder like
you
you
won't?
did. No, I'll.
Oh. You'll need.
No,
you'll
I
have to.
can't.
It's
I
easy.
can't wiggle. I have vertigo, and that platform wiggles, and that
Yes, it does. It doesn't bother
screws me. I could stand on it, you know, like kneel on it and do a
That
little
does.
bit, but I'd be afraid
Not
to
too bad
climb
for
the
a
ladder.
free-handed arch. I'm going to be proud of myself on that
Very
one.
proud.
Yeah. All right. Good. Well, now we are off to the races.
Off to the races. Beautiful.
That'll look really good when we get our grid on.
Okay, Heather and I both brought art stuff today because we're going to continue on with our faux painting of the stained glass window that's missing, because it's going to be in storage for 100 years.
Right.
And not coming back. And I came up with this idea to faux paint it to look like, well, how did I just logged
a
myself
whole bunch
out
of whole bunch of paints that we've both brought to. I
Oh my
brought
gosh.
I brought some of these little folk arts, but I also brought some of my slow drying fluid
I
acrylics.
just logged myself out after all that trouble logging in, so I cannot show you this on my iPad. We'll get it out later. But
I have it
anyway,
on my phone.
we spent like 20 minutes working on a plan, because very interesting. My brain and Heather's brain work very differently, and it's kind of fun to see how they work. She's I don't know how to describe it, because you're very visual because she's an artist, but at the same time she's very, very precise, which is great because we're going to do something kind of complicated up there.
Yes.
I'm a little more freeform, so it's kind of fun to put those ideas together. So we've come up with a plan that combines both of our
Yes.
both of our plans, and I think it's a good one. So we're going to go over there and get started in a minute. Actually, Heather's going to start because she can get on that ladder and I cannot. I have bad vertigo, and I know I get fussed at about ladder safety, but I'm actually very safe on ladders because I have to be, and I have to hold on. But she's got that little baby giant ladder or whatever you call it on top of scaffolding, and she'll climb up and do all kinds of stuff. And
it's my gymnast.
It shimmies and shakes, and that just freaks me out. So she's going to head up there and do that. But we both brought all kinds of artist brushes and paint and stuff. And we've got our plan. And when I first came up with this idea, my thought was to just do something kind of freeform that evoked the feel of the stained glass window. But after looking at it and how it's up there, we think we can actually pretty faithfully recreate it exactly as it is from the photographs we have without a whole lot of extra trouble. So that's what we are going to attempt today. So I'm going to go get a work light and put up there. She's going to grab the tools she wants. The very first thing we have to do is, I say we, Heather is going to do is do the border that goes around it, because it's got this grid of bamboo in there. And we can't get the grid in without the border because of the way it measures out. So we're going to get the tools that are necessary. I'm going to go get the light and move the camera, and Heather's going to get up there and start painting.
We can put that up to the camera and you can see
you can see what, I'll put a picture on the video, but how the grid work
that's right.
is. But there is this technique in art where if you're transferring an image from one place to another and you're not good at drawing, you put a grid work over the original and then copy each grid so that you can get all your proportions right. And fortunately, that bamboo makes a grid. So once we have that bamboo on there and it's a grid, then it's a matter of just going and doing each square within the bamboo, which takes it down to a very manageable size. So we're going to get with it. It's a gorgeous day. It's biker weekend. We're open for tours. My daughter's outside.
I can already hear them outside.
Tours, and it's going to maybe be very loud because they come up and down Broadway. There's going to be 400,000 extra people on the island today, and they think 200,000 motorcycles. So it's a lot and it's noisy. So I'm glad we had a quiet minute to get started, but let's get over there. Okay. Let me make sure I was recording.
Okay,
so the first thing is the border.
Yes, and let me pull I have a great picture of it right here. Let me get it pulled up so that I can look at it. It's a really good one that shows the corner, because I'm thinking that it looks roughly around 5 inches. So this is this actual corner of the window that used to be here.
Where are you marking
so
to?
if I say
edge of the bamboo or just the first?
This guy here. So he's 5 inches, and then we'll say this other one will give it 2, so we can have dark lines. So that puts us to here, and then we start the inner bamboo.
See, I think that's gonna narrow it way too much because you're out to here, and the whole.
And then you're to here. So you've got all this width of it. No, you think we should go less than that? 4 inches?
I'd maybe do.
Because that looks pretty wide.
It's not though when you do the whole. Go back. Do you have the whole window?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, see his hand on it. His fist is barely the.
Well, his hand's sideways, and he's further out from it. And it's really only 3 width of grid. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3.
Mark it out, and then see how big our inner.
Okay, so if I do, let's say 5, and then let's say I give that other one.
There was a lot of debate and a lot of measuring and drawing out to get started on this. It's kind of like laying out tile. Getting started is the hardest part. And my fear was that if we got this border too wide, it wouldn't leave enough space to get the center section proportionally right. And since we didn't have accurate measurements from the window itself, we spent a lot of time looking at pictures trying to find objects that we knew the size of relative to the stained glass. It seems like a small thing, but it actually matters in getting that center section done properly. We finally kind of came up with a plan and just got on with it. All right, the motorcycles are picking up out there.
Oh yeah.
See how she's up on her ladder. No fear.
Oh yeah, no. It's no big deal. So this is not right.
I just follow it around.
Yeah, if I just follow it around, then it'll be what it is. It'll just have to be whatever it is.
It looks visually fine from down here.
Okay.
Level at the right, at the bottom. I'm sorry, the left. At the left, yeah. And then take that across. It's not too far off. See, I think you can just kind of smooth that out as you're.
It's close. Okay, so let's say that's the level. That's where it switches kind of right there. So
yeah. So just a tiny. I don't know that it'll be. We're gonna have to come back and put a little trim around the edge because there's daylight coming from that right side anyway. So. I don't know that anybody will ever
It's
notice.
relatively close.
It's close enough.
It's maybe an inch off.
It's close.
It's close. It's close enough. Okay, so I just need to draw these straight lines down here, and then we can, if we want, we can start putting border on.
Grid, yeah.
Or we can go. Actually, we
grid.
should grid
I
it
draw
first.
the grid in and take a look while
Yeah.
Sarah's here.
We should do the grid.
I thought this was going to be a multi-day project, but Heather and I both got so engrossed in this project that we just kept on working. We ended up staying till well after 5 o'clock, which we usually don't do. And I have to brag a little bit. It turned out spectacular. It was so much better than I ever envisioned it could be, but we're not going to show you the completion this week. You'll have to turn on notifications and subscribe and come back next week for the conclusion of this amazing project. Thanks for watching. We are the League-Kempner House here in Galveston, Texas, and we look forward to having you along with our journey to restore this house to its former glory.